Hey guys, welcome back. So you'll notice I have no makeup on whatsoever except my brows. So this is a brow video. So I'm going through a few of my favorite products that I like to use at the moment just to create a softer brow, not so harsh and dark on my face. Now if you do find yourself liking the content in this video, take some time if you can, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll get into the video now. Okay, so you can see by the stash that I have here that I have experimented with a few products over time to try and find the best product for my eyebrows. So I've gone from using brow powders that actually have a cream base in there as well, to dip brows, to pencils, and fiber gels, which promise to plump up your eyebrows with more hair-like fibres. So I've gone back now to using a powder. This one's Anastasia. So I found my eyebrows were just starting to get too dark and they just looked too unnatural. So this powder for me is the best colour, so it is blonde colour. So even though I've bought other products in blonde, primarily they still are a taupe sort of colour. Some of them are still too warm for my eyebrows, so I'm liking this one at the moment, and I am using it in conjunction with a pencil still. So this is the Mercier pencil. Does have a spoolie on the end, which is great. Now this colour is the reason I'm using this one at the moment, because it is lighter than any other pencil that I've found. Anything with that is that it's a very soft pencil. It's easy to get on your skin, which is great, but when I've actually gone to sharpen it a couple of times, I have actually broken it twice already. So you have to be very, very careful when you go in to sharpen. Now I'm still using my Rimmel Brow This Way, which is a really light pink pencil, and I go in with a MAC very small angle brush with that, and I go underneath my brows, and I'll show you that in a sec. Now the brush that I'm using for my brows is this. So I'll just try and show you up close. It's got a little point on it. It is quite dense. I have no idea where I got it from, and it's just a no-name brand. The Browsings from Benefit does have a little brush in there. One side is designed for the powder. You can see a little bit of powder coming out of that now, so it's a very similar shape, and then this side I think is used for the cream as well, but I do prefer this little thing that I found. It probably cost me $1 from somewhere. So I'm going to go in and show you what I do with my brows. Now I've got hardly anything there. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to load up my brush. So I'm just going to go in, place all the powder in. I go along on a little bit of a straight line there. Just follow the natural shape of my brow. You can see that product's going on quite easily. Now I do go up here and create an arch, which is a little bit further along than an ordinary arch would be. And then I come down, I go out and down. I don't really come down because I've got extremely hooded, droopy eyes, so I really don't want to have a curve here, which brings my eye down even more. So I try to go out as much as I can. Now out here I'm just as messy as I want to be, because I'm going in shortly with a pointed cotton bud, and I'm going to tidy that up. So you can see that's just a few strokes, and that's given me a brow. So I'm just feathering that powder up through the front of my brow here. I haven't got too much product on. Now I'm really not 100% happy with the shape, but I'll show you what I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other. Now I just find that it just gives you such a softer brow. It's really not harsh. I don't want to have really harsh eyebrows. Okay, so then next up I'm going to go in with the pencil. Now I go into the pencil because I find, especially in photos, that the tail of my brow just disappears and you can't see it. So I'm going to go in just in this tail section. You can see that's darkening that up a little bit more. So I'm pushing down and then just lifting up when I get to the tail. and that gives you that nice line. Now this is where I go in with a pointed cotton bud, and I'll go in and I'll sharpen that up even more. I may have too much just in here, so I'll go up and curve that just a little bit, and then I'll go in. I don't like a point here with the arch, so I'll go in and I'll round that off just a little bit, go in a straight line and round it off just on that point, and then go down the other side. So what I'm doing here is just eyeballing and making sure that they're similar. They're never going to be perfect. So I'm going to go in with the spoolie. Make sure you do this because you don't want any product build up in little areas. Sometimes there's little tiny dots of product that'll build up. So basically brush those up, and the bottom of there I want to brush across because I do get a gap otherwise. And then I want to continue to brush across and then down. So I'm using just a really light hand to do this. So I don't want to take all that product off that I just spent time putting on. And then sometimes I'll go in with a brow gel. I have experimented with the Anastasia one. This is blonde, which is very light, so I'm going from one extreme to the other. So it does kind of highlight your eyebrows a little bit, but it definitely lightens them up, which is great. Now I do like the Too Faced Brow Quickie. That definitely has fibres in it, and the colour is good for me. I've used the Charlotte Tilbury one. The wand is just so tiny. It's just really, I don't know, it just takes me so much time to do. So I've kind of gone off that one, although I do like the colour of that as well. And then I had, the very first one I ever used was the Gimme Brow, which looked a little bit different to the way they look now, which has fibres in it as well. So this is the lightest one. So I'm just going to go in with the Too Faced one, and just at the very beginning of my brow here, just want to try and add a little bit more fibre and depth, just so you can see the hairs that I do have there. And then I'll grab my small angled brush and my Rimmel brow this way. This one's a light pink, so I'm just going to go in on the tip of the brush. Now I do this either before or after I've done my eyeshadow, either way. I'm just going to start just underneath that arch there, just to the slightly to the side, and this is where I can really sharpen that edge up even more. And then I wipe off any excess that I do have on the brush, and then I'll use the side of the brush just to actually blend that down so it doesn't look like a harsh white line underneath your eyebrows. Now putting anything light or white or pink underneath your eyebrows is going to highlight if you've got any stray hairs under here. So I do like to make sure that my eyebrows are shaped. My eyebrows just don't grow, so I only need to go in every now and again and grab a stray hair. That's good in one respect and not others. Okay, now that's about it really. That's all I usually do to my eyebrows, and I'm finding, like I said, it's just a lot softer. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Click on the notifications bell so you're notified when I do upload some more content, so you don't miss anything. Share with your friends. Have a good day. Keep being the best version of you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.